So I'm Nancy Hazard, and I'm with Greenfield, who's the organizer of this event. And Greenfield, we aim to make Greenfield more sustainable by furthering environmental quality, social equity, and economic vitality. And we're really pleased to have the Franklin Regional Council of Governments, FRCOG, and Sustainable Greenfield Implementation Committee, SGIC, as our co-sponsors this year. And also thrilled to have Jordan James, who's working with GCTV to take a video of this event so other people can enjoy it. I also want to thank the many volunteers from FRCOG, SGIC, and Greenfield who are helping with all the details of setting things up, getting the pizza, signing people in, and all those logistics. So let's give all those people a thank you. So I'll give you just an overview of what's going to happen tonight. I'm going to start by saying a few words of why Greenfield is offering this fair. And then I'm going to turn it over to Ted Harvey from FRCOG, who's going to give an overview of the support available to change your homes. And then I'm inviting the vendors up to just say a few words, self-introductions, so that you know like which table you might want to go and spend more time with them. And some of you obviously have been visiting quite a bit already, so that's great. So the question, why energy? Why an energy fair? So energy is one leg of a three-legged stool that's involved in restoring the climate and biodiversity. The other two legs are nature and materials. And our approach to energy is, the goal is to decarbonize everything. So I just want to say, what is that word, and how are we doing it? So first of all, the electric utility companies are doing their part by changing how they produce electricity. And they're adding wind and solar and batteries to our system, and the goal is to stop using fossil fuels by 2050. So stop using fossil fuels because they're obviously the source of carbon pollution and global warming and climate change. So how many of you happen to know what percentage of our electricity today is made with zero carbon emissions? Does anybody have any idea? They've been working hard at it. It's pretty amazing. Yes? 25? 25? Anybody go for 25?
30.
30. Anyone else? 35. We're actually doing pretty well. We're inching forwards there. So our job is to switch the energy that we're using and to use the clean electricity that exists today and will hopefully be even more clean as we go forward. And the job to do that has gotten so much easier over the last 40 years. In the 80s and 90s, a little personal story here, I was one of the many carpenters who were experimenting with how to build what we called solar homes at that time. So homes that were facing south and had lots of insulation. And the idea of a zero net energy home, or a home that produced more energy than it used, was beyond our imagination. That wasn't anything that anyone had really thought about. So today, building a zero net energy home is not that difficult, and in fact, code comes pretty close to requiring it. And of course, we can purchase electric vehicles today, which we couldn't do in the 80s, so we can replace our gasoline vehicles. However, upgrading an existing home is much more difficult than building one from scratch. And so you're unlikely to actually make that goal of a zero carbon home, but we can make huge strides in that direction. And we can reduce our utility bills, make our homes more comfortable, and we can greatly reduce the amount of fossil fuels that we use. In fact, we could get that down to zero. So unfortunately, there's a lot of help to do that. So back to my journey to get off of fossil fuels. It's been an iterative process. About 30 years ago, when I was a carpenter, before Mass Save was around, I set out to insulate my home. It got better, but it wasn't still comfortable. I learned about blower doors and that they help to find air leaks in your home. And I hired someone with a blower door, and I found a huge number of air leaks everywhere and sealed them. And that made a huge difference to my house. So here we are. 20 years ago, my hot air natural gas furnace died. And in my infinite wisdom, I replaced it with an efficient gas boiler, gas still, because heat pumps were just coming on the market and were not common at that time. But I have to admit that I've been heating my house. I'm pretty proud of the fact that I've only spent like $750 a year to heat my home. And my neighbor, who has a carbon copy of my house at that time, like 20 years ago, she was on oil heat and she spent $5,000 to heat her home. So I'm just curious, how many of you have heating bills that are less than $750 a year? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, cool, excellent. So we got some people who've done it. And I keep thinking about, if everyone upgraded their home and had a heating bill of less than $1,000 a year, maybe we wouldn't need to spend so much money on fuel assistance because it wouldn't be so onerous. So anyway, back to my story. My heating system is still gas, but I've taken a few more steps to get towards electric living. 2 years ago, I replaced my gas cook stove and to an electric induction stove, and I definitely improved the air quality in my house, no question. And then last year, my gas car died, and I replaced it with an electric vehicle. And to do that, I had to upgrade my electric panel. So you can see there's a lot of steps, and you don't have to do everything at once. My next goal is to finally actually replace my heating system with an air source heat pump. And I've also looked at solar hot water and photovoltaics, but I have a slate roof and it doesn't face south. Both of those items make it challenging for me. Oh, and I have a swamp in my backyard, so my backyard's not exactly a great place for ground-mounted solar. So today, doing energy, updating your home is so much easier, and there's Mass Save offers a free energy assessment. You'll get that blower door test and everything done, and it will start you, and then there's lots of grants from both Mass Save and Massachusetts and others, so that's what we're going to learn about tonight. So I'd now like to introduce Ted Harvey, who's going to talk about what kind of assistance is available, give us a big picture, and then I'll be inviting the vendors up here. Thanks, Ted.
Thanks, Nancy. All right. You get the PowerPoint presentation from me. All right. Can everybody hear me okay? Yes. So I'm Ted Harvey. I'm with the Franklin Regional Council of Governments, like Nancy said. So thank you all for coming out, and thank you for all the vendors for being here. I'm going to go through this very rapidly because I'm not an expert on these. I just want to show you kind of what's out there and what's available. Some of them you already probably know about, but the folks around the outside of the room really know this stuff well. So, and that's, as Nancy said, that's really what we're here for, is to talk with them, encourage you to meet with them and learn more about this. So again, to reiterate kind of why are we here, this is what I just talked about. We want to learn about these programs. Again, some of them you probably already know about, and a lot of them, if you are in one of the seats, I think they all got those packets. This kind of goes through that information. First thing is the Massachusetts Community Climate Bank, the Energy Saver Home Loan Program. It's a low-interest 20-year loan from $10,000 to $100,000 to help reduce home energy use by 20%. So in Franklin County, the folks you want to be talking to is the Center for Ecotechnology, who is our coordinator, and she's waving in the back. And so after this, I highly encourage you to go talk to her about this program. This just goes over a few things that it covers. This isn't everything. So again, for more details, please go speak in the back. A few more details about the heat loan and what's available there. I think one of the important things about this is that it's this, and then the other pieces I want to talk about a little bit about is there's market rate, and then there's also based on income limit. So it doesn't kind of preclude people that may not be able to afford it at certain rates. So as Nancy was saying, it is, while it may not be affordable for everybody, it is a lot easier nowadays to do some of these programs. I'm not going to go through all of these pieces. This is exactly what's in your that handout there. But this gives you kind of a sense of what's available, the rebates, the tax credits. The one thing I did want to make sure I pointed out, though, that middle column there is the IRA tax credit. That's federal tax credit. All of those, that is, it was originally, I want to say 2032, 2030. Not 2025. So now that is 2025. Those are coming to an end at the end of this calendar year. So they may or may not be useful for your purposes. But the mass save rebates are all still happening. Again, the purpose of this is really to show that these are kind of available for folks across the board. And throughout the state, so we really want to encourage people to talk with the vendors in the back to get more details on this. And then finally, the mass save heat loan. This is 0% loan up to $25,000. This is different than it was in the past. If you've looked, I believe the cap was $50,000 in the past, so this has been changed, and then there's a payback period for up to 7 years. It may depend on your certain situation, but it is up to 7 years. So it may be less than that depending. Again, I'm not going to go through this. This is all in your packet, but I just wanted to kind of make sure that everybody had an overview of this income-based programming and what does it cover. Income eligible, and the next slide you'll see what I'm talking about there. Enhanced residential, and then market rate, and that's kind of available for everybody, no matter what your income is. And then these are the different levels. So these have changed since they change every year. So if you're looking at your household income, this is where you are eligible, where you fall. Again, this is all in the packet that is at your table, at your seat. So this gives you an overview of your income. This is for the 2025, 2026. And again, that would probably change next year. And that's it. Again, I highly encourage you to speak with the folks around the room and get more details on all these programs. Nancy's going to come back up and introduce each one of the folks in the back and have them say a few words.
Thank you, Ted.
Do you want me to throw that?
Doesn't matter. Yep. So, thank you. And, you got that? Yeah. Yep. Okay. So, as Ted pointed out, one of the things about the programs is that they're complex because it depends on what income
Can you use the microphone?
you fall into.
Use the microphone.
Oh, the microphone, thank you. This thing slides down, it's interesting, it's got a life of its own. So the thing that I find really confusing and complicated is you have to figure out which income bin you fall into and then really get to know those programs. So it's impossible to talk about any of them because they're so specific to income level, and there are people around the room that can help you with those. The other point I'd like to make is that the Massachusetts things that are available, those are really new. Last year was the first year that those were available. And so it's really, if you're not familiar with the details of that, they're in your packet, you should really look at them. A lot of those have to do with enabling you to get your house to a place where you can actually do the mass save stuff. So, or put PV on your house. So for example, you can get money to repair your roof so that you can put PV on it. Or there's also some other things like that where they'll help you get to a place where the mass save, they can actually move forward with mass save. Okay, so you now invite the vendors to come up and introduce you, and I'm going to start off with Peter Wingate, who's going to say a few words about Community Action Pioneer Valley programs. Peter is the head of this program. You have been doing it for how many years? It is amazing. So thank you, Peter.
So the answer to that question is actually 38 years. It doesn't seem that long. So Nancy told me to be short. So what Nancy tells me to do, I do. So I'm Peter Wingate, Community Action Pioneer Valley. We're over in the corner. Amanda can answer any questions that I don't get good information about. We've been around doing energy efficiency, weatherization, heating systems, and now heat pumps for 49 years. And we do income eligible households. And if you want to know what is income eligible, I never have the figure in my head, but Amanda can help you out with that. To apply for us, you can talk directly to us here or just get a hold of us, give us a call, or go on our website. Do you want anything more than that?
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Peter. Okay, the next person up is Christy Berry with CET, who has a plethora of things that you guys offer.
Thanks. We do a lot. Many of you might know us for various individual programs, but as our outreach lead, it's one of my personal missions to make sure everybody knows that we do a lot. So one of the things mentioned that I'm representing tonight especially is the Energy Saver Home Loan Program, so please come on back and get some more information about that. We also administer a number of different waste and energy reduction programs in the region. We're a food waste reduction consultant nationwide. Our other major two programs here in Massachusetts are the Recycling Works in Massachusetts program, which is a free waste reduction program for any business or institution in the state funded by the Mass DEP. We also administer the Green Team program, which you might be familiar with. It's our K-12 sustainability curriculum, also funded by the DEP. And then in the energy realm, we are one of the main Mass Save commercial vendors. We're not one of the contractors. We don't do the installations, but we do the assessments. We can help project manage, and in our role, we can often help bundle projects and get maximize incentives and make sure the timeline makes sense, all that sort of thing. So please come on back, chat with me about all things sustainability and decarbonization.
Now, you really said that fast. So, and you do so many different things that you got to go chat with those. So, the next two people are home performers contractors who are with us tonight. So, Heather, is it Lieber? Lieber, thank you, with Rise.
Hello, Heather Lieber from Rise Engineering.
You want to use the mic?
Okay. We're technically not a home performance contractor. We're what's called the lead vendor. When you call Eversource or National Grid, you ask for an energy assessment, you get us. Because we do not perform the installation work ourselves, it is subcontracted. I always tell my clients, but we have the inspectors that make sure for utmost quality control. I thought I might tell you, since we've got some competitors here, and we all do the same work, I thought I'd say what I do when I come to a house, what it actually is an energy assessment. And I come in and I introduce myself and I ask the client what are they hoping to accomplish so that I can make sure to focus on their needs. But in every house, I'm going to walk around the first floor and get my bearings, what's where in the house, all the while checking the seals on the doors, looking for single pane windows that might be eligible for rebates, looking if they need a shower head replacement, what kind of thermostat they have, I'm checking for that. And then I go down to the basement and I look for insulation at levels down there, especially at the sill. And the bulkhead door, is it just some rattly old wooden thing, or is it an insulated exterior door? I take a look at their heating system and how they heat their water, and I make notes on that. And I don't talk to them till later, but I'm thinking, is this something that's going to need replacement in a few years? Is heat pump going to be appropriate for them? Is there a more efficient technology that might be suitable that I should talk about later? Then I'm going to go up to their attic, and I'm going to see what insulation is up there. I'll see if there already was air sealing work done, which pretty much has only been done in the last 10 years. Air sealing is workers with spray foam targeting where air leaks out of the house. They make sure to seal it up. And I look for things that might get in the way of doing the work, like vermiculite, which can have asbestos in it, or knob and tube wiring, anything else that I might need to talk to the client. Then I test their heating system for safety, and then I go turn on my computer, I create a report, I ask the client to come over, and we talk about my findings. So I give customized advice to the homeowners, because this Mass Save program has so much to offer that it gets overwhelming for people to say, does this apply to me? Is this appropriate for me? It's really hard to sort it out. So I help them sort it out. That's what I do in a nutshell.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a great description of an assessment, energy assessment. So Calvin Day from Revise. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not Calvin Day. No.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight? Good. So my name is Kirsten Gallo. Calvin couldn't be here today, so you get to deal with my wonderful self. My name is Kirsten. We work for Revise. So Revise is actually one of the contractors for Mass Save. So we do provide the home energy assessments, but we also provide most of the services that are included within the program. So some of what we do includes insulation work. We install heat pumps and mini splits if that's a system you're trying to upgrade your home to. But we also do the assessments along the same lines that Heather was just speaking about. We check all of those things just like she does to let you know what's best fitted for your house to make the most difference, make it the most affordable that we can. Revise has been helping residents in Massachusetts for over 15 years now with this program, and we do have an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. We're very proud of that. So just like with everything else, it does update. As of right now, the program tends to update once a year. Sometimes they add a whole new service. Sometimes they just change our rebate amount, but it's important to keep using it for sure. So if you have any questions at all, or if anybody would like to get set up for an assessment, you could just see me over here at the table with the blue cloth. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you, that was really helpful. I have been confused about the difference between Rise and Revise, what you guys have to offer. So that was really helpful. Next up, we have an installer of electric heating equipment. So Scott, do you want to come up and talk about the Western Massachusetts Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Inc.?
All right, I'm Scott, owner and president of Western Mass Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. What we do, we are, I mean, the name pretty much says most of it, right? We work in Western Massachusetts, we do heating, cooling, and plumbing. But to be a little bit more specific, especially for like a meeting of this caliber, it's a large portion, about 75% of our business is heat pumps. It could be mini splits, it could be ducted heat pumps, could be geothermal, could be air to water. We're not brand specific necessarily, but we do have a few top brands we work with, and we're very up to date on the latest technologies. And we really like to go into somebody's house and design the right system for their goals, for their house. And we're not stuck on any one technology. And decarbonizing isn't just electrification. There's a lot that goes into that. We have a great network of subs. We have a great network of, for instance, solar, and we have a great network of other people that help with the home energy assessment, and we help with the Mass Save rebates. So we're all encompassing. We try to match the best systems for your house, for your goals, and for your budget. And that's in a nutshell, that's what we do.
Thank you so much. It's great to have a heat pump installer with us. Last year we didn't have one, so if you have any questions about heat pumps, he's the guy, so go for that. So next up, we have 2 solar installers with us. One in doing solar hot water systems and the other doing solar electric systems. So Josh Hilton, PD Squared, do you want to talk about the electric end of things?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Josh Hilston. I'm here representing PV Squared Solar. For those of us in the room who have not heard of PV Squared, we're a Greenfield-based, worker-owned cooperative, licensed electrical contractor who specializes in the installation of solar photovoltaic, solar electric systems, as well as energy storage systems or batteries for your house or business. And our company is located on Wells Street for a bunch of locals in the room. And we have been there since 2002, so we're in our 23rd year of business, which we're very proud of. And we provide solar to all of Western Massachusetts and Southern Vermont. My personal role, I'm a commercial design and sales team member, so if you have a business or an institution, you get to talk with me. And we've got a whole team of folks who specialize in residential design and sales. All of our sales team members are very, very experienced and really care about getting details right. Nobody works on commission, so it's a slow and low. We're here to educate you. We're here to give you options, not to rush anyone. And I routinely start conversations with people that might conclude 5 years later when you finally get that new roof, or you finally felt like you had the money to make an investment. And so I'll just say that solar has taken a hit this year, right? We have a new administration, different priorities. We've lost a 30% tax credit that had been on the book for the entire time that I've been in the industry. What we have in Massachusetts is really, really strong net metering programs and frankly, very high cost of electricity. So what we find is that our solar projects, even without the 30% tax credit, are generally still able to achieve payback in often less than 10 years. So it depends on your site. Last year we might have been able to say it's a 6-year payback, and this year maybe it's an 8-year payback. So a couple extra years, 2-3 years on average, additional payback period. For most folks who are willing to be a little bit patient with the investment, put some money in on the front end, pay it off over a period of say 10 years, which is a very common financing period, and there's a number of local lending institutions such as Franklin First Federal Credit Union and UMass 5 Federal Credit Union who offer solar loan programs with typically 10 or 15-year terms. There will come a day where you reach the end of that loan term. I'm about to finish paying off my 10-year solar loan at my house next year here in Greenfield, and it's going to be a really great feeling to not have a check going out the door to Eversource and not have a check going out the door to UMass 5, and just have essentially no cost energy coming from the sun now that the system's paid off. So it's a long-term goal. It requires the right kind of site, and it requires some capital on the front end. But certainly encourage you to take the power to make clean energy from the sun, to not just be powerless in the face of what seems like ever increasing cost of electricity every year. Delivery rates in particularly are outpacing supply rates right now, the cost of just maintaining the infrastructure. So when you make a fixed investment in solar, you kind of lock in your cost of electricity for the next decades. And it's a really good feeling. So just because we lost the tax credit, solar is still very viable, often under 10-year payback periods, financing available from local credit unions, and a local worker-owned cooperative solar company here to help you. So thank you very much for Greenfield for having us, and happy to chat if anyone's interested.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks for talking about the whole issue of losing those tax credits. So next up is Spartan Giordano from Spartan Solar.
Thank you, Nancy. We install and service solar hot water systems, which actually have been around for over 50 years. It's the original solar, back when, gosh, you could only get solar electric on maybe a calculator, and that was about it. But boy, have times changed since then. I'm here to help you answer any questions. So like, why should we still do solar hot water? Come talk to me. How can we integrate it with your home? How does it compare to a heat pump water heater? There's a lot of possible questions, and there's a lot of variables. I was talking to Heather earlier, how we have a lot of different fuels to compare cost benefit to, different household sizes. And so we help navigate through all those things, and there are cases where I actually don't even suggest that solar hot water is the best thing, but most of the time I do come to that conclusion. So I don't know how that happens. Can help you with all those questions. We still have slots left in our calendar for 2025 before the tax credits run out. We actually can get our clients a 40% tax credit because as we've been for now 10 years committed to US made panels. Yes, we still make panels in the US, but they're solar hot water panels. That gets an extra 10% on the tax credits. So always happy to get that out there. So come talk to me about solar hot water if you like. Thank you, Nancy.
It's just amazing to me that the solar domestic hot water stuff is still around after all these years and doing well.
And many systems are still working.
There we go, from 50 years ago, right?
Perhaps with some component changes, but the panels can last that long.
It's great. Okay, so next up is Margot DeCoster from the Green Energy Consumers Alliance, who is a nonprofit organization that helps us all navigate purchasing EVs and all kinds of things, and she will tell you about how.
Hi, I'm Margot with Green Energy Consumers. So like Nancy said, we are a nonprofit and we do a lot of different things across Massachusetts and Rhode Island. We have several clean energy programs. We do a lot of education about electric vehicles, heat pumps, and we also do advocacy for clean energy at the state level. So come talk to me if you want to learn more about EVs in particular. We also do heat pumps about other things. We do webinars about other things such as heat pumps. And we have a few coming up this month if you're interested. And then I'll be talking about the More EV rebate that's still available in Massachusetts. You can get up to $6,000 off of a used or new EV. Unfortunately, we don't have the federal tax credit anymore, but we still have the state rebates. So come talk to me.
Thank you. I worked for a nonprofit for many years, and one of the great things about it is they're not selling anything. So they have a lot of information you can really trust. Okay, last but not least, one of our co-sponsors has a table here. And Bram Morellis is going to talk about the Sustainable Greenfield Implementation Committee.
Thank you, Nancy. That's Bram Moranis, butt of many jokes. So I joined the Sustainable Greenfield Implementation Committee about 5 months ago, although I had come in on Zoom meetings earlier than that, because it just seemed really important for us to have a vision of where the town could go that could inform policy decisions and directions of investment, and even what the public has to say when they get together with city council meetings. The Sustainable Greenfield Master Plan was put together 10 years ago, and now the Sustainable Greenfield Implementation Committee is updating each of the 7 elements of that plan, one by one, looking for public input, wanting the public to be engaged with the process, wanting the public to be able to advocate for one choice rather than another when investment decisions are made, like parking lots, etc. So we're here pretty much to show you where you can find the plan on the city website. We have little write-ups about it and a paper where you could sign up in case when there's some kind of public request for input, we can notify you. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, and thank you again to FERCog for being our co-sponsor. So thanks for all being here. Please go and visit with the vendors that you just heard from. Choose the one that fits you the best, and I hope you find exactly what you're looking for. And thank you for your interest in getting off of fossil fuels.